Hi folks, Jay from All About Photography. Today I'm going to talk to you about using the Radial filter tool in Lightroom. Now this is the fifth tool across the bar. It's a circular tool. So I'll click on that, and what it does is create a filter that you can use in a circular shape. So oval, you can slide your mouse down and make it a tall oval, or horizontally make it a wide oval. You can also, if I let go of the mouse, see the hand on the inside. If I slide outside, it'll bring up the little arrows. I can rotate that oval around onto any angle I want. But what I'm going to use it for today is the eyes. Now this is my daughter's dog. Those eyes there are normally a brighter yellow than that, so because it's just sort of hidden in the shadows, they've gone a little dark. I'm going to click on that. I'll just get off that tool and I'll zoom in on the eye. I might just see if I can get both eyes, not quite. I'll have to work a little smaller. Two eyes, there we go. So now what I want to do is get a radial filter on the eye, and I want to make it the same sort of size as the circular part of the eye. So if I put it on one side, just spread it out, rotate it around a little, just move it around so I can get that right side. Then I can do the same with this one. Bring the width out, pull the bottom down, a little wider. Okay, so I'm going to work on this one first, so I'll select it. Now with this radial filter tool, you can see when I hover over that center section, it brings up the red overlay, which is the area that's going to be modified when I start sliding the sliders. Now with a radial filter tool, you can, just with this tick of the invert mask box, you can work either inside the circle or outside the circle. So that'll modify everything that is outside the circle with feathering into nothing. If I adjust the feather tool down to 0, now I'll hover that, that'll make it a hard circle. So everything inside the circle won't be touched, and everything outside, if I press invert mask, hover over that, everything inside the circle. I do want a little bit of feather on this, so I'll just bump that up a ways. That looks good. Alright, so what I'm going to do with this shot, I'm working on the inside of the circle, is I want to probably pull the highlights out a little bit, maybe 30, and I want to bring that color temperature, I'm just going to change that, brighten the yellow out into there, so maybe 60. And the other thing I want to do is clarity. Now this will help bring out all those reflections in the eye. So we might even just go with 20 on that, so we've got some nice even numbers to work on. So 60, 30 and 20. I need to remember those because there's two eyes, so I can do the same with this one. I can go 60, highlights, slide that up to 30, and the clarity, we went 20. Slide that back, 20. There we go. So these eyes are actually slightly different in shading, but that's alright. What I might do, this one's a little darker, so I might bring that up, just pull the whites a little bit and increase that yellow temperature just a tiny bit. Right, click on that. I think that'll be fine. There we go. So I can show you what I've done here. I'll just press backslash, so that's before, and this is after. Now I use this on, you can use it on people, you can use it on birds. I've done birds where, like an azure kingfisher, where it has a black face, similar to this, and a very black eye. And in the shadows, its eye can completely disappear in the photograph. So I can just pick the eye out and just pull the light and the reflections out on the side and just make the eye pop a little more so that it can be seen. It's a handy tool. Like I said, I don't use it a great deal, but it can be handy for adjusting the eyes of the subject. So I hope you find that helpful. One other quick tip I might just show you with that tool. How we said that we could make an oval shape or a round shape. The shapes you can make with that are symmetrical. The way you can change the symmetrical shape, if you do have something that's an odd shape is you can hold that Alt key down and slide just one side in. So it actually changes the shape from being non-symmetrical, basically. It just leaves the side that's the opposing side, so the top there, if I want to slide the bottom, it stays exactly where it is, so I can move the rest of it in. That's still symmetrical, isn't it? I think I might undo all of that. We'll go delete, and enter. So that's the radial filter tool. It's one that I use occasionally for adjusting the eyes of my subjects, like I've done on this example. You can use it for larger areas, a person's face, for example, that might be hidden under the shadow of a hat. What you can do also with that, and I'll just show you, is you can, if it was, say, a person's face that was this big and the top half of it was under a hat, I'll just show the overlay. Now, if it was a person's face, you would want probably less feather than that, as it goes sort of to a hard edge. But up the top here is the brush tool. Now, if I hold down the Alt key, which you see that turns, when tapping it on and off, it turns it into from a plus to a minus. Now, minus, and I can scroll the size of the brush however I like. If this was a person's face hidden underneath a hat, and you wanted to adjust just part of the face, the shadow part of the face, which might be like that, for example. That's the part of the shot you can adjust, and I'll just turn that overlay off. An easy way is just to show the exposure side. So if that was somebody's face with a hat on, you could just adjust the part that's in the shadows and just give it more light, or change the color, whatever you wanted to do to make their face stand out a little bit. Alright, but I don't want to use that one, so I'll delete that and press enter, so locked in. Alright, so I hope that helped you understand what the radial filter can do, and I hope you'd like to tune in next week for my next tip.